Welcome to the Podkey summary of Lexus LS. The Lexus LS started as a wildly ambitious Toyota moonshot. Spend whatever it takes, take as long as it takes, and build a luxury car that could beat the Germans at their own game. What came out of that effort didn't just launch a new flagship. It reshaped how luxury cars were priced, built, and judged, especially on quietness, quality, and reliability. And now there's a strange twist to the story, because the car that once reset the category is no longer the force it used to be. Toyota's secret F1 project kicked off in 1983 with a goal that sounds almost absurd in hindsight: build a sedan better than Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Jaguar, and the top American luxury cars in aerodynamics, silence, speed, and efficiency. There wasn't a fixed budget, and there wasn't a fixed timetable either, which is not how giant corporations usually calm themselves down. Over about 5 years, the project consumed more than $1 billion, with 60 designers, 1,400 engineers, 2,300 technicians, around 450 vehicle prototypes, 900 engine prototypes, and 2.7 million kilometers of testing. The result was the LS400, but really, it was bigger than one car. Toyota decided the flagship needed its own brand, its own marketing, and its own service experience, because asking luxury buyers to pay premium money for a Toyota badge was a different challenge altogether. That's where Lexus came from. The LS wasn't just a product launch. It was the cornerstone of a new luxury mark. When the original LS400 arrived in the US for roughly $35,000, it undercut its European rivals while delivering a quieter cabin, a lower drag coefficient, a higher top speed, and a lot of standard technology. BMW complained Toyota had to be selling it below cost, which tells you how disruptive this looked from the other side. And that pricing worked. By 1990, LS400 sales in the US had already passed the comparable Mercedes, BMW, and Jaguar models. Lexus eventually became the US luxury sales leader, and that was the deeper shock to the industry. A mainstream manufacturer had figured out how to enter the prestige market by pairing aggressive pricing with execution that people could actually feel. A lot of the LS magic was in details most people would never think about until they noticed the absence of annoyance. The 1989 launch car used about 300 separate measures aimed at smoothness and silence. Sandwich steel body panels, fluid-damped cabin fixtures, vibration-isolating mounts, and laser-welded construction. At Toyota's Tahara plant, the tolerances got almost comically precise. Door panel gaps were cut from Toyota's usual 7 millimeters down to 4, and they were measured within 0.01 millimeter. Later, on the LS430, the margin tightened again to 0.001 millimeter. At that point, fit and finish stops being a nice touch and becomes a competitive weapon. That's part of why the LS landed the way it did. It didn't just look expensive, it felt deeply resolved. The LS also became one of those flagship cars that quietly introduces tomorrow's normal features while everybody else is still debating whether anyone really needs them. Across its generations, it brought in the first production 8-speed automatic in 2006, the first V8 full hybrid in the LS600H, early adaptive cruise control, DVD navigation, automatic parking, and advanced pre-collision braking. Early on, the technology was mostly invisible refinement. The car just felt smoother, calmer, easier. Later, the tech became more visible and more obviously automated. By 2021, the advanced drive system could help keep lanes, handle road splits, change lanes, overtake, and park. So the LS evolved from being a masterclass in hidden engineering to a rolling test bed for Toyota and Lexus automation. One of the smartest things Lexus did was treat reliability as part of luxury, not as some separate practical concern for sensible people in beige shoes. The LS430 became the highest-scoring vehicle in the history of J.D. Power's Vehicle Dependability Survey at the time, and the LS nameplate held the top luxury car dependability spot for 15 straight years in one major U.S. study. Consumer Reports pointed to LS examples that could reach 200,000 miles with proper maintenance, and one 1996 LS400 owned by an automotive journalist reportedly went past 1 million miles on what was believed to be the original engine. That durability gave the car a kind of mythology. It wasn't only serene and well-finished, it was the rare flagship people expected to keep going. The LS didn't just force rivals to think about their next car. It changed how they thought about making cars in the first place. Mercedes-Benz moved toward a more Lexus-like targeted cost process and cut U.S. base prices on competing models by nearly 10%. The development of the W140s class was reportedly so rushed and so expensive that the budget overruns cost chief engineer Wolfgang Peter his job. At GM, Cadillac engineers concluded the LS400's construction quality couldn't be reproduced using existing company methods. Its cabin noise numbers and its panel gaps became reference points across the industry, which is about as clear a sign as you can get that one car has everybody else measuring themselves differently. Toyota never treated the LS as a one-off vanity project. It was a reputation-setting investment, and the idea was that the lessons would trickle down. You could see that in the 1992 Camry and the Lexus ES, which picked up tighter panel gaps, flush windows, flowing roof construction, and triple-sealed doors. So part of the LS story is that people who never bought one still benefited from it. Its influence even reached outside cars. Toyota production concepts tied to the LS spread into aerospace manufacturing at Boeing, and the project's broader reach showed up in things like an aviation-certified derivative of the 1UZ-FE engine and Intel's interest in Toyota quality practices. The latest chapter feels very different from the original formula. The fifth-generation LS dropped the traditional V8 for a twin-turbo V6, even while many European rivals kept V8 power in the class. That's a major philosophical shift from the old recipe of big, smooth, naturally authoritative luxury. And the sales picture is even starker. U.S. sales fell from 35,226 in 2007 to 1,082 in 2025. Lexus also discontinued the LS in the United Kingdom after 35 years because of weak sales and regulatory issues. So there's a real contrast here. The car that once crashed the gates of the luxury world and changed everybody else's homework is now more of a niche presence. The LS story still matters because it proved luxury wasn't only about heritage or badge power or charging more because you could. It could also be about engineering discipline, consistency, and making the whole thing feel effortless, which, honestly, is a very Toyota way to start a revolution. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.